Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn biology, that is first PUC biology. So all of you learned about biology in lower classes because it comes in science. Here when it comes to first PUC, you are studying separate subject, that is nothing but biology. So you know what is biology? There are so many living organisms are found around us. You can see plants, animals, microorganisms, variety of organisms including plants. All these organisms we can see in and around us. So biology is nothing but is a Greek word. It's derived from Greek. This bio means life or living. Logos meaning study or discourse. Biology is nothing but is a branch of biology dealing with the study of living organisms and their process. So their characteristics, their nature and their process, various functions will study in the branch of biology, that is the given biology. So that means biology derived from Greek from two words, one is bio and another one logos. Bios meaning life or study, life or living, logos meaning study or discourse. So in this first PUC biology, the first chapter is the living world. So all of you know living world. So that means there are variety of organisms, they are living. So in biology, there are branches like botany, zoology, microbiology, morphology, anatomy, physiology. There are so many branches you can see in biology. What is botany? Botany is nothing but you are studying. It's a branch of biology dealing with study of plants. That is botany. What is zoology? You know, zoo means animals. Where you are studying the animals, their nature, their characteristics, their physiology, etc. Then that is called zoology. Microbiology means the study of microorganisms like bacteria, virus, fungi, etc. So that branch is called microbiology. Anatomy means the study of internal structure of an organism. We can study the plant anatomy. That means internal structure of organs of plant, or animal anatomy is nothing but internal structure of animals by taking section, mainly dissection, dissecting the animal, we can learn the internal structure of animals. So like physiology, physiology nothing but is a branch of biology dealing with the study of functions of organs. So various functions, for example digestion, excretion, respiration, all these are the functions we can see in animals. Like that in case of plants, photosynthesis, transpiration, etc. All these are the functions. So there are so many other branches also there in biology. Now we are learning, let us learn the living world. The first chapter in first PUC, that is the living world. So here, this is the first PUC chapter. So first PU biology, this is my name, chapter 1 and here part 1. The first part, that is part 1. Here, we can see different kinds of organisms. That means variety and variability among the living organisms. The study of variety and variability of among living organisms, that is called as biodiversity. That means variety of organisms. We are studying variety of organisms, their nature, their distribution, that is called as biodiversity. So it is also called richness of species because we can see the species in one area that is not found in another area. So the species distribution is not same in all the place, and number of species also varies. For example, Western Ghats, they separate species we can see which we cannot see here. So that is called as species richness. So anyway, the variety and variability among living organisms is called biodiversity. So there are millions of organisms we can see in our earth, the planet called earth. So next, what is living? So all of you are living. How we can say we are living? So living is nothing but is state of being alive. So that is nothing but state of being alive. And all the organisms shows some characters. So we can differentiate the living organisms from non-living things. How we can differentiate the non-living organisms from the living organisms? Non-living things from the living organisms. So based on some characters, there are many characters are there, but main characters will study here. The first one, growth and development. We can see the character like growth and development in living organisms. Then reproduction, one important character that is called reproduction. Third one, cellular organization. Cellular organization, that is the character of living organism. Then metabolism. So that is metabolism, response to the stimuli. So all these are the main characteristics of living organisms. The first we'll study one by one. So first is growth and development of organisms. So what is growth? Growth is nothing but increase in the size of an organism along with the mass. That means the weight of the organism increases. The size also increases. Few years ago we were small, you were small, but now your size increase is mainly due to the growth. So what happens during growth? So growth occurs mainly because of cell division. Number of cells increases in our body so that you can see a growth. The size of the organism increases. Every organism grow by cell division. So every organism growth starts from the zygote because it's a single cell from which we can see the growth just by cell division. So cell division we can see that is nothing but mitosis. Okay, so you have studied two types of cell division. One is called mitosis and another one meiosis. Mitosis is responsible for growth of an organism. Meiosis is reduction division which occurs during gamete formation, like egg in case of female, sperm in case of male. So anyway, that is growth occurs in living organism. We cannot see growth in any other non-living things. Just not only increase in the size of organism, there are certain changes also we can make out. That is nothing but some changes that occur in organ or an organisms. So just not only increase in the size. So that means you can differentiate the organ. Kidney. When I say kidney, all of you can imagine the shape of kidney, somewhat bean shape. So that is nothing but change. So you can identify human being from other animals because that is a change. It's not only just increase in the size, and also there are changes that occurs in organ or an organism. So that is nothing but development. So that means we can see the development, growth and development in living organisms. Then the next characteristics, so here mainly plants can grow continuously because of meristematic tissues. The tissues which are located at the tip of the plant, that is apical meristem, or at the side, that is called lateral meristems. So anyway, in plants we can see continuous growth, but we cannot see continuous growth in case of animals because there is a limited growth. So after reaching certain age, the growth stops. Each and every organism has birth, growth, then maturity, they reproduce, then senescence, that is nothing but aging, finally leads to death. So this we can make out in living organism or in the life of living organisms. Then animals, they reach to certain stage, the growth reach to certain stage. We cannot see continuous growth in case of animals. In unicellular organism like single-celled organism, also we can see the growth. After growth, it divide and produce more number of cells also. Then next characteristics, important characteristic is reproduction. Re means again, production is production. So reproduction is a biological process in which organisms or individuals gives rise to the young ones. Okay? The young ones are nothing but offsprings which are similar to itself. For example, cat can give birth to the kitten, dog can give birth to the puppies, human being can give birth to the babies or child. Plant, for example, mango. If you have a mango seed, when germinate, you will get only the mango plant. So that is the meaning of itself. Then, what is the importance of reproduction? It is necessary for continuity of the species, because we can see the human being, Homo sapien, still we can see that is because of reproduction. And also maintenance of population. So population, any population you can take. Human population, dog population, whatever may be, now we can see is because of reproduction. There are three main types of reproduction. So, there are three main types of reproduction: asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction, then sexual reproduction. So, asexual reproduction means organisms or offsprings are formed from a single parent, that is uniparental. So very simple, that is formed from a single parent. And whatever the offsprings formed that resemble the parent as well as amongst themselves. So that is nothing but asexual. A means absent, sexual means sex cells are absent. In case of plants, asexual reproduction is called vegetative reproduction. So you can take a plant, any plant, for example, rhizome of ginger, you can reproduce by using that. Bulb of onion, again you can get the plants. Bryophyllum, where you can see adventitious buds. So all these are the vegetative propagules in case of plants. Then in higher, still we can see the asexual reproduction in case of yeast hydra, where budding we can make out a small outgrowth is formed near the parent cell. Then the bud grow, finally it detached from the parent body, develop into new organism. So that is called as budding. Even we can see in case of yeast also. Yeast is nothing but unicellular fungi. Then in case of fungi, still we can see the spores, that is asexual spores. Some spores are motile, that means they can move from one place to the another. Motile spores like chlamydomonas spores, there are certain spores that are produced by the fungi itself. Then another type of reproduction which we can see in higher organisms, higher plants and animals, that is nothing but sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is nothing but is a type of reproduction where offsprings are produced by the two parents which are belongs to two sex, and they produce the gamete, that is called male gamete, sperm, and female gamete, egg. Later there is a fusion of gametes to form zygote. So that we can see in higher plants, higher animals, just by production of gametes and the fusion of gametes. Genetically, whatever the organisms formed, they do not resemble among themselves as well as they do not resemble their parent because of genetic variability. Gametes are produced only after meiosis. So there is a synapsis, that is nothing but pairing of homologous chromosome, that means paternal chromosome and maternal chromosome come side by side in a zygote stage, and chiasma formation also we can make out Pachytene stage. Whatever the gametes are produced which are differ one another, so that your organism also differ. So that means genetic variability we can see in sexual reproduction. Then even another asexual reproduction also we can make out fragmentation. So that means a part of the organ or any part may detach and develop into new organisms. In planaria, so we can see regeneration. So re means again, generation means formation. So that means regeneration or formation of lost part in the organism, and lost part is developed into new organism. So that is nothing but we can see in planaria regeneration. Regeneration. So that is another type of reproduction also we can see in some organism. Planaria is a platform. Platform. So where regeneration takes place. Just when a part is lost, here this part is later developed into new organism. So this is called as regeneration. Regeneration. Here, these are two main the characteristics. Still more, there are characteristics that we will learn in another class. But still, you summarize here. One is biology, meaning of biology, botany, zoology, some branches like microbiology, anatomy, physiology. So all these are the branches. Then what is the state of living, or what is living, being alive, or state of being alive, that is called as living. Then main characteristics of living organism that we can see only in living organism, not in non-living things, like growth and development, reproduction, cellular organization, metabolism, response to the stimuli. All these are the main characteristics of living organisms, and next we will continue in the next session. Thank you, students.